What's up, team? Quick little trade recap. Decent morning on the charts considering the fact that we're at all-time highs on Nasdaq, NES. It's a little tricky trading right now, and I suggest maybe sitting out if you know what I mean. If you feel like it's too much for you, you're uncomfortable in it, then you don't need to participate in it. Just watch and learn. I spent years watching chart or you know stocks and charts and index funds hit all-time highs and just watch it. So I did take two trades on gold that I did call out. I did take a couple little scalps on the Nasdaq, but there was just trading order flow. Nothing crazy, just smacking 10 points and then walking away. But the gold trade, so I did look for a long on this, and the reason why, if you look here, so we'll jump down to the 15 minute. All right, and we actually are putting in higher lows. We came out, swept this liquidity right here that I noticed. I was like, okay, we swept that liquidity and then displaced back above the level, right? So we have this sell side liquidity that we took. Label that sell side liquidity. And then we get our ICT level model. Now, I even said, I'm like, you know what? Prime entry would have been in here, anywhere in here, right? So, and that model is the model that I love the most. So how do we get it? We take our fib, right, from the swing low to the swing high that displaced through the level. So there's our displacement through the level. And then that gives us a discount range, right? That gives us a 50 to 60% area. You see that 50 to 60%? We tap into that area. We also have this 15-minute gap, okay? So if we jump down onto the smaller time frame, we'll jump down on the 5-minute, and you can see we actually have a 5-minute gap here also. So, let me get rid of these blue lines for a second. And we'll get rid of this 15-minute. But you see how we're displacing out of that 15-minute, right? So we also have this 5-minute that we tag into too. So, you see that, and you could have formulated your trade. Okay, if we come down and hold this area, then most likely we're going to continue higher. So you could have taken any long position here. When you see push up, like you could have taken one here, target this level up here, boom. That would have been nice. I mean, I probably would have scaled out and put my stop to break even, but still, right? So there's the trade that I wanted. Then I noticed we came up and we consolidated around our level. So we'll jump down on the 2-minute, and we have this consolidation around our level right here, right? So we consolidate around our level. So I'm like, okay, we're not rejecting that level. We've displaced above the lower level. We're coming out of a 50-minute imbalance. We held discount of that first range. And we have these all-time highs up here. If you look at the larger time frame, we have these clear highs up here, right? So a clear draw on liquidity, which I think we're going to probably take today. So I was like, if we can break this level, I'd like to target these highs. Now, I kind of made a mistake. I was on the 1-minute when I took this. I wasn't on the 2-minute. So really what we want to see is a 2-minute candle close above the level and then a push up. And we get it here, but they just faked us out, right? And if you look on the 1-minute, it looked like we had it. We had this 1-minute, then a push up. So then I got in. Also, on the 2-minute, if you look, we're holding this fair value gap right here, right? And on the 1-minute, notice we came down, tagged this fair value gap, and pushed back up. So I'll be honest, I thought we were going to have a high probability setup of something like this. Coming up and taking that high. With all the structure that I seen, the higher lows, coming out of the 50-minute bounce. So I was okay with the loss, but I did have a tight stop, and I flipped to a short. So I got in, and I got out right here, and I actually flipped my position. So as soon as we closed below this 1-minute gap, right here, this bottom gap, I tagged in for a short position. I got in right here. Boom. So my stop was above the level, and my take profit was down at this level down here. Now, why did I flip so quick? Well, one, the structure that I see was showing me that we're going to fade. And I just felt like I just got faked out. That's all there is to it. I got faked out. You can clearly see we came up, rejected this level. Now, I had a little bit of, I wasn't that comfortable in the trade when we came up and I seen this candle push up. But then once we pushed down, I was like, okay, now I see what I want to see. If you look, we're holding this discount range, right? And we tap into a fair value gap. So the best entry would have been right here. If we had been patient and not worried about getting the buy set up, we probably would have taken this ICT level model. And I talk about this model all the time. There's PDFs on it. There's videos on it. It's the most high probability setup I have every single day. When we displace above or below a level, we tap discount. Like, just look at it. It happened down here, right? It happened right here. Okay, right? Boom, discount, discount, discount. And then it happened here on the short side. There's twice on gold that level printed today, right? So I got in. Now I scaled out down here, and I scaled out and took most of my profit at the bottom. So we ended up getting a nice move on that, right? We ended up like a $6 move, and I think I took like a $2 loss. So, it ended up putting me decent green on the day, up a few $100 on the day. That's pretty well it though, right? Like I looked for the buy setup. You know why I took the buy setup? We're displacing out of that 50-minute bounce. We have a clear draw on liquidity up here. This is a super clear draw on liquidity. And look, now that we're getting above this level, look at. Now we're starting to put in higher lows. I'd expect us to go up and take that buy side. So just wrong timing, maybe. Wrong timing. This level, the level got respected, and that's why I cut the trade short and I flipped short. So, and I don't recommend that all the time, that you guys get in a trade then flip short. But if you see structure and you think that we're going to move to the downside and you think maybe you just got faked out, there's nothing wrong with it. And I was only 2 micros in on the first trade. Like 2 micros. You know what I mean? And then I was 5 micros on the second trade. So I made all that money back plus some. You know what I mean? So it's when you're 2 micros in and the trade goes against you in the wrong direction, it's easy to cut it short when you're down like $40 or something, So it wasn't that big of a deal. So anyways, that's all I got. I know it was probably a tough day for most. If you're a new trader, it's really tough action right now, especially at all-time highs. But I think stuff will clear up later on this week, and we'll just keep moving along, right? So just try to book those base hits on days like this. Take 1 or 2 trades, 3 max, and just call it a day. That's all there is to it. Just call it a day, okay? So yeah. Also, you guys make sure I'm gonna post later the charting session from last night. I think everybody should take a watch that. I really think that new traders, it'll be beneficial to you. I just go over a lot of like how to manage tilt and stuff like that, right? Not over trading, all that stuff. I think it's a really good one. So, and also too on the NASDAQ, I did go over last night in the charting session. The reason why I wasn't too, zoomed in on the NASDAQ, because what I seen happened. So I went over last night. I said, this is what I would like to see happen. I would like to see some of these lows get taken. I had these mapped out last night. Ideally, I would like to see these equal lows, but I'm like, I'd like to see some of these lows get taken, a break above our level, then continuation to take these highs. And look, they did this at 8:15 a.m. So not that I wasn't prepared to trade. I was like, I'm going to wait for market open and see what happens. And they just did it early. So my objective, what I wanted to see happened before 9:30. And a lot of the times I like to see it happen at 9:30. You guys know when 9:30 opens, that's kind of when we're ready to take our trades. Now, a lot of the times I will take these pre-market trades, but I just wasn't, I didn't expect them just all of a sudden pop this at 8:20. There's no rhyme or reason for these candles right now. But if you look, we have a low support down here, right? It's pretty clear what's going on. We've taken this liquidity, right? We have a support. And then what do we have? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? Just continuing to put in higher lows. So I talk about these higher lows all the time. Look at that and study those and just see what's going on in the market and base your trades on that. Now, that's being said, it doesn't mean we can't take a short if we see an opportunity, but you're more likely to get a move with trend than without trend, right? So I really wanted to see us find support, take that liquidity, clear this level, which we did. And it was actually a decent level if you really think about it. Look, we reject it here. We kind of reject it there, retest it. Right here, we have a rejection, then we pop it and continue higher, right? So the level, it wasn't perfect, but I see clear direction on this level just from what I see right here, right? So anyways, that's all I got. The trade recap today. One loss, 1 win. I did have a couple scalps on the NASDAQ, but overall I'm up $500 on the day, so I'm just going to walk away, call it a day. So we'll be back to crush it again tomorrow. Peace.